Hello, this is Johnny Chisholm, and I wanted to give a brief demonstration of creating an agreement in Conservation Desktop. This process is similar to what you would do with the Contract Wizard in a Customer Service Toolkit. We're going to create some agreement items and create the agreement for a PSA or a payment schedule agreement. These are the type of agreements that are normally in Protrax and would include CSP and EQIP and possibly others. So that would be the process of developing these contracts for Protrax. In this case, we will be doing a CSTWP GCI contract, but it should be similar for doing EQIP or other programs. We'll look at here we have that we already have the client, the case file, and the practice schedule open. And this happens to be a practice schedule that has the 300 GCI practice in it. So it is eligible for cost sharing under this program. The first step would be to, in the practice schedule here, we're going to click on the Create Edit Agreement Items, which opens up a window and it displays the application for this client that is, it has to be eligible um, or approved, I think, or pre-approved, so that we can actually select that program application. Okay, let's take a look at actually developing this agreement. The first step is we're going to select the application. When we do that, our next button will become active. Take a little time here to read the information. And notice that there are no agreement items at this point, and that's fine since we haven't created any. So we're going to click on the next button. And this will actually load the practices that are eligible for this particular program. You can sort it by year, agreement item, land use, tract, or land unit. Generally, you probably want it sorted by year. That way it puts it in order of the year, and you can actually create your contracts in where the items will appear by year. If you expand one of these, you'll see that it lists the practice and then the land units that that practice is on. You can select individual ones of these, or if you wanted to create separate items for each land unit, you can do that. But in this case, I'm just going to select the GCI 300 practice. Give it a minute. It selects all of those, and then I click Load Components. The component for this practice is loaded. In this case, we only have one as the GCI initiative activity. So I would select that. If we had multiple components, you could select the one that actually applied. And then we're just going to click Add Agreement Item. The agreement is added. We see here the GCI item number 1, unit cost of $18, so gives us our totals here. So we've got item number 1, and it's scheduled for 2020. I'm going to expand 2021, and there's no need to expand all those. I'm just going to select the practice for all of those. I'm going to load the components again, and then I'm going to select that conservation initiative activity and add the agreement item. So we have item number 2 here now through 2021. So we'll select 2022, select the GCI, load the components, select the component that we want, and then add that as an agreement item. So we have 2022. Now we do 2023, select the practice, load the component, select the component, and add it as an agreement item. Through 2023, and finally 2024, we select the component, select the practice, load the components, select the component, and add the agreement item. So now we have all of our agreement items here. And these are ready if you needed to edit the amounts, or you can do that. But in this case, or delete component or delete items or rearrange items, you can delete that. But in this case, we're just going to go ahead and submit it to Protrax. And tells us we're about to submit this agreement with any pending changes to Protrax, and it's going to replace any existing agreement in Protrax. So we click submit. Once the agreement is submitted to Protrax, it will be in draft status in Protrax and draft status in CD. If you wanted to, you can actually click on the open in Protrax, and it will actually open the agreement in Protrax, and you can see that we have our agreement items. You can look at those 5 agreement items. So this one is ready to go. So that's the process of creating agreements in CD to upload to Protrax. So this one's ready in Protrax and ready to go. Thanks, and hope that helped you in seeing how this works in Conservation Desktop.